Well, we're about to get underway, and our first team taking to the stage is G2 Esports. A lot of clouds over this team, having to bring out a substitute after already having qualified towards champions. But with 3 games left in the season, it still feels like they're on the right pace to make playoffs and stay as strong as they've ever been.
I feel like this team is looking really good, really fresh. I feel like they haven't wavered too much adding that substitute. They're really letting BabyBay fit into the role that they need instead of trying to change the game plan around them. And I think that's really good coming from them.
Yeah, it feels like they're just preparing themselves for when Leaf comes back. Just easy 1-to-1 and then 1-to-1 right back. Though that being said, I would still love to see a little double duelist with BabyBay. Just one time.
Okay. I don't think you're gonna get it.
Just one time. Give me Dre on the duelist. A little neon. Come on. One time, man.
If they're qualified week 5, we need it. But here comes their opponents, Evil Geniuses, who of course lost to G2 by a narrow margin to miss out on their bid to return to an international event. Now, coming back to the stage, Derek says he doesn't consider it revenge in this game, but I think you still have to consider it as a very important milestone for EG, especially after having lost to Cloud9 last week. If they could take a win here against G2, that would be an absolute statement that they're back in stage 1 form.
100%. And I feel like the smaller issues where you lose a round just because of communication issues are the most frustrating, because you know you are that team and you know you have that potential and you know you can bring that to the stage. So for EG, I'm really hoping they've just cleaned up a lot of these little silly mistakes and bringing their true form up to the stage.
Rolex spotted. Potter's Rolex on wrist, and she has the Tom Ford belt on. She's locked in. She's ready to go. Now, this should be a banger game, and EG, yeah, it just feels like now I have the thought in the back of my mind that at any point they can just hit the go button to a level we didn't think.
It's always the EG narrative, right?
Yeah,
you think they're having a rough start.
They could get to at the beginning of this year, but they proved that they can. Maybe that'll be shown today. We'll have to see. I'm really excited to see the map pool in this game, honestly, because we've been talking about that at G2 Ascent. I want to see what happens as far as that goes.
Anything you're hoping to see coming out of the map pool here as it comes up now? Corrode getting first picked into this pool from G2. We saw them show this in week 1 when they played against Sentinels. Lost out on that one, but was a reasonably close game.
Yeah, also in that loss, in the coach interview with Josh after, he's like, yeah, we feel like we kind of got cheesed because we haven't practiced on that map and they just picked it into us. Or he said they like scrimmed one time. So now getting to see G2's idea of how to approach that map with more practice, honestly, really cool. I'm excited to see what they've cooked up.
And I think they played Yoru on it last time, which I feel like now if they kind of put Jog on that Neon, especially how he first played Neon when she came out, he was like the crazy god at it. So I feel like that's something that will flip the tides.
We're about a month into Corrode Pro Play thus far. What looks have you guys liked the best on this map? What are you hoping to see from an EG who is yet to play Corrode?
I mean, I think, man, I'm wondering about the duels because, man, the Yay Neon, very rare. And Icy, I don't really associate his best to duelist games with playing the Neon either.
Could we get a chamber on this map, do you think?
I would love to see a chamber. I think a chamber would go crazy.
I actually am still curious kind of about like the double Senti Vice chamber approach. I still think that's the double Senti is just relevant in this meta, running that for sure. I mean, it definitely is on Ascent, but this is a map where I kind of want to see that explored.
Role-wise, if there was a map to get Yay Chamber, I think it would be here. Put Icy on dive, and everything else fits in. There's the comp.
There's the chamber. Hey, if there was anything I want BabyBay on here.
BabyBay, let's go.
And this is a change.
Give me the chamber. I'm
down. They played the Vise week 1, now locking in that chamber instead. But he looked great at that agent on Ascent.
I think it's a little bit crazy that they don't have a Vice, because Vice is so good on Corrode. But I agree, if you have BabyBay and he wants to play chamber, I think you just let him play chamber.
Switching from Vice to chamber, what do you gain, what do you lose, Wyatt?
Well, the Vice is just, I mean, it's such free lockdown on the choke points. Not a lot of them on the map, and like there's not a lot of lanes on the map.
And yeah, he's locking it.
Okay, yeah, chamber v chamber. We saw this from 100 Thieves. They ran the solo chamber. It worked for them. But at the time, they were running that double initiator, double scan look. The double controller, though, with the Viper Omen has been super standard for the early Corrode meta.
Yeah, I feel like the Chamber too it's a lot harder to hold down a site. I feel like with the Chamber, you have to be hyperactive on your defense. You have to be really proactive, pushing the choke points, making sure you get a lot of map control versus making sure you can just sit on one site with your Vice and just let her
Lock
exist.
down a choke easy
Yeah,
mode.
literally.
First time Ye's going to be locking Chamber in Stage 2. An exciting way to start with the mirror matchup against Baby Bay. So, of course, we have to send it over to Doug and Ender for the call.
Thank you so much, Mimi. Yeah, for G2, their story is figured out. They know they're headed to champs. They know they're going to be in Paris. But for EG, Christy, there's a lot to fight for here.
Absolutely, right? EG are remembering their last match against G2, where they were denied by 2 rounds, losing on Pearl 13-11. But that came down to the fact that EG entered into playoffs in Stage 1 in the lower bracket because they came out of their group as the 4th seed. Now, as we load up into game quick with the Samsung match start, you can load up fast with the Samsung SSDs. It's important to note that Evil Geniuses are in another tough group with Sentinels and C9 looking strong. This game could very well be the thing that propels them out of that 4th place potential final result and allow them to have that double elim benefit.
Crazy to think that a match in week 3 has those implications so much further out, but that is the case. G2 on the attacking side. Flirting over for the time being. Ye will be the tip of the spear. You see both chambers scrapping early on. Icy trying to fill in on the space and will be punished.
Yeah, trying to run a little bait setup there. Icy was supposed to be unexpected, but those kills are not found.
Well, the attack has some room to accelerate towards B now. And that's exactly what they'll do, but Ye is there to hold the line, at least for now. 29 HP, 2 bullets left in that Headhunter. And the challenge comes through. Trent getting a couple, make that 3. And Supa's gonna arrive late to the party.
Damage done on Trent and Baby Bay, though. He has an angle here if he can deal with Baby Bay on the left.
Knee given away, the TP will buy a little bit of time. He's well out of the play. The Haunt will tag. Supa has to play this so carefully. The swing out to spot into the first. That's 4 for Trent to start things off.
Trent is such a monster, man. 4 kills in the pistol, but he has just been having the best year of his life. Doesn't matter what stage he's playing on, he has been elite.
Has consistently been Trent time in that pistol will secure things. And that G2 continue their pistol success. We saw it right before the round started. I think like 80% win rate on pistols.
Yeah.
They don't lose those very often.
And that round comes with Giacomo getting picked in top mid, sort of splitting away from the rest of the team. The rest were going 4 in through main. Can usually be a little tougher to break through an early choke point, but not if you're just finding these opening frags.
Baby Bay getting the best CA. First time they've played since, what, May of 2022?
Yeah, May 14th, 2022. Ages ago. Ye got the dub back then. But it's Baby Bay and G2 to strike first this time.
You see a couple of these early eco frags. Icy does have... well,
Just farming.
yeah.
One enemy remaining.
Icy does have a shorty. It's the last weapon up on the side of EG.
If we take the moment, before Icy's eventual demise, it is worth noting, like, both of these teams playing the Chamber, there is not the same amount of stall that you'd expect to have on the defensive side. Usually that B side is littered with Vi's utility, Viper utility. Vi's is throwing multiple lineups from spawn so that there's thorns in both choke points on each site. You don't have that option, so much will come down to these early gambits, these fights between the Chambers trying to post up in main. You're going to see a lot of these early fights. Far more forward than you'd normally expect.
Why you smiling, dog?
G2 with an opportunity to really run away with this early half. On this bonus, Bulldog, the Outlaw, in the hands of Baby Bay. A couple of early smokes traded across the middle of the map.
Both these teams are generally avoiding the middle of the map. We saw this a bit from G2 when they called the Sentinels at the start. This time just some spam onto Baby Bay. That's right on the corner of the box, just having to read that Baby Bay would be searching from over there.
Yeah, early punish, maybe even a pixel, tough to say. But EG with control of the middle of the map right now.
Yeah, so G2 want to come back in, clear out some of this. Trent doesn't have so much utility. He's got a Nightfall because of all those kills on pistol, but a singular Prowler. And his Haunt should be coming up in a few seconds here.
That's another
Wow.
spam kill from Nature.
Cover going out.
We'll get to see both of those. Yay online, making that Guardian sing the double swing onto Derek. We'll clean him up.
Pinch come.
And there's no real way for them to go.
Brutal.
Put into a corner. EG are on the board.
Now I'm expecting the style of these rounds to change pretty heavily as we move forward here. These early rounds, there's the gun mismatch. These teams are taking it slow. They're looking for these opening fights, these one-on-ones.
Yeah, there was no pixel on that
No,
one.
I don't think so. But as we get deeper into this half, expect G2 to just try to bully into mains a little bit more. Even if you can trade 1-for-1 against Ye or force out his teleport with good utility from Trent and Jogamo on the approach, these sides can be easily overwhelmed because there is not that layer of stall utility to keep G2 back in the mains.
So much of the pressure of anchoring the site, of holding things on, is on the shoulders of the Chambers.
And Ye's in a good position back here in pocket.
Will be tested. Currently playing in the range of his TP, but just barely. And Nightfall all the way across. Jogamo slides across the screen, and the site is theirs.
Derek's still a nuisance. Calling some rotates, but Valen is holding these angles.
They're really fast on this, though. EG have arrived at the scene well ahead of schedule.
G2 have realized there's a gap back towards spawn, so 2 players peek back, clear out all this space, then they can turn around and focus on the 3 EG members trying to get back in through Link.
Meanwhile, you hear the attack side op rattle off a couple of shots, letting them know where the fear lies. As EG, a little stumbling as they try to make their way out onto the site now, forced to sit back behind the smokes. As it goes down, as the cover clears, a couple kills traded, still an advantage wave G2 as Valen keeps them back. Supa's out.
I don't even think he got a chance to really fight anyone there.
No.
There's smokes in his eyes the entire time. And that's what I'm talking about. G2, if they can overwhelm that forward hold, the sites are just complete paper. And EG are going to try their best to, keep players on site. You saw Derek there hiding behind smokes inside the site. But EG don't have so many great tools when it comes to retaking in. Very little forcing utility to get back into that space.
Quick check-in on the ultimate's nature, and Derek have theirs online.
Big B main fight underway.
Yeah.
Derek with a paranoia ready to go. Icy to capitalize. Same as Pistol, as a matter of fact. Ye wants to take the forward line. He TPs out, and then Icy would go sprinting on through.
Balance there.
Yeah, now with no one found, it's moving 3 players back into mid. They can shift into A, expecting G2 to be heavier on that side of the map.
It's a deep defensive smoke, too. I wonder how much further up.
Oh, the spam still?
Yeah. And now Icy's going to take all of this space.
Yeah, this round is just cooked for G2. They need to go back into B main and push Ye off of the forward line. Otherwise, it's too easy for EG to stack into mid and A. That pressure causes some doubts from EG, but still not enough to lean back into Ye's spot.
Narrow miss there.
Look at Babybay creeping into A, though. While all these kills are going down, it seems like now there's not enough of an opportunity. Evil Genius is playing so passively on the actual sites themselves. They know with numbers, if you just control the mid space, you can always react to whichever side of the map the attackers are going to be hitting and just overwhelm with numbers.
You wonder how much further up he's going to go here.
He kind of needs to go all the way down this much. You can't just sit back and wait for the plant to come in. You need to get out in front of things.
He has, since joining G2, been so good at moments like these, at taking some of these timings and finding some space and then capitalizing on it. But you're so heavily outnumbered. Time is not on your side.
Nicely done.
That'll get things down to a 2v4.
He needs more, though.
EG still in a power position. Babybay looking for the second bit of damage that he can find. A narrow miss. Bullets buzz by. He'll live to fight another day. Now push off the paranoia, sliding across, and forced to handle too many angles at once. Trent just forced to sit back and watch. There's no real way into this.
Getting some kills on the way out there, but he had no real chance at assisting Babybay, it didn't seem like. Babybay's getting overwhelmed with Util, pushed back into Ye, who rotated into spawn. It was a very calm round from Evil Geniuses once they got these numbers.
We spotted mid.
How many of those have we seen so far? Is that 5? Have we seen just like spams into the smoke mid that are resulting in kills?
It's been a lot. And it's just all down mid as well. EG getting the upper hand on those. But really, this game for EG will be so simplified if they can continue getting Ye on the forward lines. Can shrink the size of the map. It's all about this fight here.
Lot B. There's the trap, stuns, flashes, everything, and now the Hunter's Fury. Icy trying to hunt him down. That's exactly what he'll do. Into the second swing, behind the walls. Another name claimed.
Spike down B.
And as things settle, EG find themselves up in numbers.
That is 3 different outcomes of the same opening setup from EG. On pistol round, we had, you know, Ye posting on the line and then the Neon sliding out behind it. Then the previous round, it's just the chamber up there. The rest of the team rotates mid. Now it's everything thrown into it. That's the type of way Potter likes to set up a lot of halves. All these small wrinkles to keep you guessing.
And you're forced to respect every single one. You can't look at the same look and
Exactly.
know what's on the other side of it. Beautifully done.
But now as we reach the halfway point in this defensive side for Evil Geniuses, that's when I wonder if things change. If you go to a completely different chapter in the playbook, maybe get away from the B main control now that, well, G2 are really going to be concerned about that. Now that you don't have these ultimates to work in as well. You do similar things over towards A. It's a little bit wider, so the paranoia maybe not as effective, but Ye can still post up on those lines.
You want to play?
Lighter
Let's
vibe for
play.
G2 here. Dre pops the ult. None of that early aggression.
Got revealed by the bolt, so has to get on out of there.
G2 haven't taken very much space at this point.
No, and there's still Ye over towards A. But again, nothing to stall out this hit. It's fully reliant on his marksmanship to hold down onto elbow.
Note that Derek is within striking distance. Can try to bail him out if he gets stuck in a sticky spot.
Last time G2 came here, Giacomo just rolled Ye.
Oh, they're both taking their heels in. Entrenched in the site, trying to burrow themselves in further and further. The paranoia will buy a little bit of time. But Ye now stunned up with nowhere to go. Meanwhile, take a look at Jonah's positioning. He's covering the flank, and it's perfect. Able to take care of one, but Ye still on the site, still holding the line. Ultimately will succumb to the pressure of the ult. Nature and Superman left to try to take this site back.
Oh, this is awkward. 35 seconds, and Nature is full steam ahead.
That shock deals some damage here. Investing the pit. Just a brief moment of respite as they settle, now pushing into it. Settles in a 1v1. Nature with the gun advantage. Jonah with the positioning. And it's Nature who comes out on top.
What a play from Nature. Having to sprint back through mid, try and support his teammates on site. I mean, that was a mess. G2 on a light buy, forcing so heavily into the site, getting even numbers advantage. But I want to see how Nature steals his way back into the round. Here it's that 1v2 clutch. It's the read on the first and adjusts well enough down to the decay on 1 HP. That was close.
Timeout called here by G2. Give Josh a chance to get involved in the conversation, see what adjustments can be made on the other side. We've seen G2 play this map once, EG first time debuting this. And so I say that to say there's not a ton of history to work off of. There's not a ton of film you can watch to kind of lean on tendencies and things of that nature.
Yeah, especially when it's such a new map as well. You don't even know like the historical styles, because so many of these players, you know, we talk about Bebe and Ye played against each other 3.5 years ago. These players have been going up against each other for forever, the coaches as well. On other maps, you have that historic knowledge. You know the individual tendencies, even if comps are changing, ideas are swapping.
Right.
Corrode is a whole new game.
A map that I would argue still has not been figured out.
Definitely not. I
Still
mean,
a couple of things to solve for sure.
even these two teams having a very different read than most teams globally. I mean, Chamber v Chamber mirror matchup, not playing for stall, but for these forward B main holds. G2 have to be thinking about that because G2 seem like they've just been running into a brick wall when they're fighting up into B. A, on the other hand, even though they lost the last round, has been very flimsy. And yet the call is to go back into B. They have to prove they can win here to have that threat.
Now this is a slightly different look from the different faces we've seen from EG here. This time it's just the Neon and the Viper.
Yeah, no paranoia, no chamber with the teleport out, so That actually gives G2 a lot of information. And what they want to do, I think, is just leave BabyBay posted up here, expecting EG to maybe have been stepping back into the space, re-clearing, trying to get on the forward lines. That's their read on EG's macro of the map. And it's not a bad one.
They're rotating back that way.
Yeah, now that no one's actually stepped back into it, they are just planning on overwhelming this. Once the gas is burned here.
Smoke already towards mid. The Nightfall used. Icy's position. Oh, still very good. Still undetected. Meanwhile, Valen did TP up into heaven, gets a kill, but it's traded back.
And Nature's still here, so G2, they have to go back into this lurk over on the A site. Huge space taken by Jonah P on the other side of the map, and he can keep on hunting. And that's Ye with an operator in his hand back in spawn. It's going to be so hard to come back and deal with Jonah P's forward position.
This is such a fickle game.
30 seconds left.
So the question becomes, how far up do you scale?
I mean, look at him right here. It's beautiful. Here's all these footsteps.
This is such a miserable thing to have to clear if you're the defense. Every single angle, Jonah punishes Ye. Cannot connect on the second, but has bought time. Has bought some breathing room for his team.
But now getting back into the site, no paranoia. There is a recon dart for Evil Geniuses, but BabyBay has the operator. They don't have good tools at dealing with him.
That smoke will buy you a little bit of cover, a little bit of time. BabyBay forced to peek ahead of it. Tag through the smoke.
Got him.
Second time's the charm. Derek with 3. Trent. Is it time again? No.
Who is this guy?
Falls at the hands of nature.
Just pulling off the spike and still winning out in the 1v1. That's now 2 huge moments for Nature.
Against the kid who you were mentioning a couple of rounds ago has set the stage, the year on fire.
Absolutely. That has been locked in, but here, I mean, again, you called it earlier, the amount of kills EG are finding through smokes.
Let's go, baby.
Is just ridiculous.
When it works, man. Look at a light buy for G2 again.
Yeah, looking for maybe a dive up into mid, into A-Link. See if Jogamo can get himself online.
Boy, that was...
I'm gonna say no. Oh, dear. These are all kills through smokes!
Yeah, this has the makings of a quick round.
Yeah, well, look at that spike as well. Not exactly in the ideal position. It's planted for bot mid right now.
And that's one more domino that will fall. One step closer to getting into the 10th round. Jonah's left in 1v3. And while difficult, we have seen a couple of very unconventional 1v3s pulled off so far. So I hesitate to dismiss this round. Got a lot of time here if you're Jonah too.
But still has to recover the spike. The way EG are playing it as well is a little bit funky. Only putting one player on the spike, but if Jonah was to pick up the spike, it's almost guaranteed he would go back link into A. So EG would have faster rotates. Now they see nobody player in A main. They know almost exactly where he's got to be coming from.
Tucking behind the dart. Nature will be the first to swing. Here's that jump spot. What can the professor do?
No one's actually going to see him grab the spike.
He's gotten away with it. A sneaky devil. And now he's headed back A. He's going to get the spike down.
Hey, and in a post plant, he's actually got his Viper Wall here to play around. If he finds the right timings through the wall, he could get it working.
He's got to commit. They're going to try to go fast on this. The spam not connecting.
Another kill that Nature can't actually see the player that he's killing. Nature and Derek have unlocked something on this map.
Wall hacks.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay. That is crazy. EG starting to run away with things now on the defense side.
The tone feel like it changed when EG showed the third layer of that B main fight.
100%.
That's when it felt like G2 did not have the tools to respond.
I mean, since then, it's been 5 round wins in a row. G2 have been timid when it comes to approaching the B main side of the map.
Reasonably so. I mean,
yeah, and when they go mid, they just get killed through smoke. So it must be so frustrating. Going into A feels a little bit obvious, but it's been successful for them early on.
They're doing it again. Nature has the ult again. He's gonna pop it too.
Except this time there's not a chamber behind it. It's just the ult play to see if they could get G2 to sprint over into A, where Ye would be holding with the operator. So it's yet a fourth new look on that same B main default.
Little damage done on the Trent there. Take flight. So you're going to funnel him back into the other side of the map. Where, as you mentioned, Ye lies in wait.
I mean, hook, line, and sinker, G2 are eating this up.
Icy's up. He's denied so much of that space. They've got them boxed in.
Bring them down.
Ye will get challenged, and Ye will walk away on top.
Just disrespectful through the wall. But now the herd approaches.
Can he strike again? The paranoia will push him off the line. He cannot find a way out. Gets tagged up, sent into the next.
And EG are still boxed. 3 players trapped behind a smoke-in link. Now it goes down. They can get back into yard. Icy's got to find something, some angle back in.
G2 looking to play behind their own wall as Icy tried to take that space that you mentioned. It fails at it. Spam just a bit off the mark. Supa's got it. Interesting timing if he can find it and make it work. But they're all staring their way. EG trying to force their way back out onto this site, doing so from multiple fronts, trying to find different angles. And Supa cannot find a way in.
Last player standing.
The defense crumbling nature left in 1v4. And we'll take one to keep things interesting, but G2 get to 4.
Feels like G2 stumbled into that A hit after all the early attention put back onto B main, but again, it proves that they can bully this A site. It doesn't even matter if Ye is finding the opening pick. Once he uses that teleport out, there's nowhere really left to go.
And him getting caught on the wall while flashed, couldn't get around the corner.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, those little things that kind of have to ask the question, what if?
Nice flash, Jake. Thank you. Like I was lost.
And so now it's EG who will call their first timeout of the map as we near the end of the first half. EG up 2. Quick check-in on ults. There are a couple that we can talk through. Jonah P particularly will have his on the attack.
Yeah. It's funny because this game has some of the worst ults like available in terms of like you don't have those high impact like we take over a site with this ult. You have like double chambers, double neon, so it's some fake ones there, omens
and
too.
Omens, yeah.
So you're really looking at Sova and Fade as being the primary go buttons for the teams that you can play around.
I love that sign.
I missed it! This is so sad.
Oh, that was so good. But yeah, I think for EG here, other than that one round that we just saw where you mentioned it, it felt like they maybe stumbled their way into it. I think that was a very appropriate way to describe that. It really has felt like EG the whole way. Their defensive side has felt lock in the whole time.
Yeah, you know, I think EG are expecting G2 to keep trying to work into A. That is not the case in this round. Ye is going to be on his own on B. And this is where Giacomo's speed can again just bully the chamber on the TP back.
Because they don't know he's there.
They do now.
Oh, they know there's someone. Now they know it's Ye.
A lot of good that knowledge did them.
Better the devil you know, I guess. Meanwhile, Dre looking for a pick across the middle of the map. There are players in the vicinity.
But now you have to get a sight hit working without any fade utility. Paranoia is their only tool. They don't even have the excess of a neon stun.
And so they will try to quietly waltz their way in.
And they can lean into lurks a little heavily. No Vi's utility. Chamber playing on his own stuff. Leaves gaps that Jonah P has found on A before.
Tiptoeing his way through, Supa. That timing is not on his side. Jonah's there. Beautifully done. And now they can accelerate out onto A.
And this pit as well. Looping a bit into Link here. It's such a narrow path to try and get back in. There's even a chamber trip inside of it.
Can they find the space within these tight margins, these tight lines?
I think it comes down to Derek on the flank. He's got to do something for main.
He's gonna have plenty of chances. Position now given away. They don't have the tools for this.
They've got to go.
That paranoia will tag a little bit. Dre in a really nice spot to cut this off and to play spoiler, but it's a rare miss. And there's lethality on the other side. Jonah playing in his pit, trying to keep them back. As G2 bolster the hold. Valen with 3.
Valen taken over. But it came down to that time pressure, EG being forced to act. And not even remotely close to a comfortable position at that. See that again. Another kill through smoke. Really compelling stuff. And here's Valen. Doing great work. Under fire from the right. You can see he didn't even flinch.
Nothing, yeah.
He trusted his teammate to have his back there.
Insanely difficult to do. Into the last round of the half we go. An early pit from Supa towards B.
And the complete force down. Baby doesn't connect again.
Has not been as sharp as he was to open map. And he's been tagged up now, 20 HP.
Did get a lick back on Nature. Through the wall, so not a kill.
EG are investing so much more into controlling the middle of the map here.
Back into A we go, though. Story as old as time.
And Ye is there.
Teleport's ready.
This time, though, EG have Derek and Icy. That's some of the stall utility that could keep these players pinched.
Sure, the stun, but the paranoia was just used mid. They're trying to re-clear that space, and that's going to give them a time window for G2 to get out.
All alone again is Ye.
And they know where he is. He's been playing here every time. It's telegraphed. It's punished. Jogamo pops the ult. Nature and Supa are so far away from the play here.
And a full control back into spawn. Valen guarding Link.
And G2 have somehow clawed their way back into this half.
Going even would be a blessing here.
Given the nightmare that was the middle, I absolutely agree with you.
Wow, back-to-back 3Ks for Valen.
And a 6-6 half after, what, 5 rounds in a row from EG?
Yeah, the middle just ran away. And at the end of things, it looked like EG, everything they were doing on B seemed completely unbreakable. G2 had no answers onto the B site. But EG couldn't figure out how to support Ye when he was on those solo A-holds either. And G2 took advantage. Once they identified that, that was a consistent problem, whether it was Jonah P going slow on the lurks, those fast plays with Jogamo scaling in quick. Every look into A was a success.
Yeah, they found where it hurt, and they pressed on it multiple times to get us to a 6-6 half. We'll see what they can do on defense on the other side of this break.
I know what you're thinking. Total glow up. What's her secret? Fine, I'll spill. I totally upgraded with Verizon. Everyone gets a free phone with any plan, even if you're already a customer, like me. Now I have Google Gemini. It's like a little glam squad in my pocket. Gemini, what eye makeup goes with this lipstick? I'd suggest a classic cat eye. Wow, setting the bar high for daycare pickup. Get in on this.
A tightly contested affair between these two teams that, again, have a little history, and it was with international play at stakes. And now, as you mentioned, Ender, at the beginning of the map for EG, you're looking to best G2 just so you can avoid some of what happened in Stage 1, where you don't have to go through lowers and deal with that mess.
Yeah, EG, they don't want to be in that situation where it's single elim for them again. Third seed or better is what they're seeking. And it started with a close first half, 6-6, but G2 carrying some of the momentum at the end and following through with it here. Valen paranoia ready for Jogamo to fight.
So waiting to see what that spark is. What's the go button? What's the trigger? There it is. The dash out, the paranoias, but it's traded right back. It's Bedlam outside of A. And again, as the utility and the dust settles, both teams walked away alive.
Just gonna lick some wounds on the retreat. No utility to work with, but B main belongs to Baby Bay. And now there's no recourse for Evil Geniuses. You can't go back into B. A has to be the opening. But pressure onto a Ye to find a lurk. Pressure on the core of EG to break this mid hold.
Just gonna freeze there. Beautifully done by Jonah to get his one. Trent playing up close. That right click will betray him. A 2v2 now. Derek's so weak. And Valen waiting on the other side. He was stellar for G2 in the first half. We'll get his. And it falls down into a 1v1.
Talk about that first half. Nature was the guy for EG.
The dart to try to find where the threat lies. That will give it away, and Nature does not miss those. A 3K for the captain as EG take the lead.
Baby Bay clip farming there with the wall bang, but none of them connected. That's one way to get things going back for Evil Geniuses.
Last player standing.
Good trade coming through the smoke onto Valen.
Let's go,
Puts him up to 14 on the game.
And a devilish grin, too. A lot of confidence brimming on the EG side of the stage. Now position to build into that a little bit more. G2 not much behind this round.
EG taking their time, waiting for the reaggress.
Hard shot to hit there. Super finding a little bit of value. Almost gets away with two.
I really like the way he approached on those jiggles, not overcommitting himself at all to those fights.
Valen can't find an opening. These classics, this lighter weaponry is not delivering as needed. Of course, as I say that, a kill is found with the classic.
Player standing.
But it's all on to Trent now and his 11 HP.
Yeah, I don't love his odds.
They are slim. So this will give us a chance to think a little bit more about the rest of what this half will hold. I think for EG, we saw a couple of different looks on the defensive side where they completely ignored the middle of the map, then they were investing 2 or 3 in there. Are you expecting that same approach from G2 on defense?
Honestly, maybe not so much. I think G2 are probably going to be looking to incorporate Baby Bay more and a bit more fighting with the rest of the team. I think EG were very happy to just let Baby Bay play into the mains on his own, or let Ye play into the mains on his own, so he can hold down the fort. I think G2, the way they like to operate is a little bit more grouped up fighting rather than letting one guy hold a line. Can use that chamber on more passive angles, perhaps onto the sites, or just to have an extra body into mid with the distraction of a teleport. Because I think for G2, the solve for them might be less about, you know, what EG was doing, trying to lock down the mains entirely, and more about guaranteeing the quick mid rotations.
I do have Noden in the hands of Trent here. Some of that early spam early on. And there is plenty of threat here, although it is now just Icy who got out onto the site.
How is Icy back here?
He's behind enemy lines.
So is Ye.
And he's gonna find that kill. Jonah was tucked. The threat went off undetected. EG now with the numbers advantage and the site is theirs.
Baby Bay's making the call to go on the long walk around. Ye's been dealt with. This trip is not an issue. But he's going to need to find an opening and find it quickly. The longer G2 go without giving any audio, any sign of a player, the more EG will expect the flank.
One benefit is that, again, they're approaching this from both sides. And silence across the map. Refusing to show a single thing. Nature will be the first one to fall.
Oh, he gets that!
Unreal. Valen has to deliver again. Can the leader do it once more? Forced into this brutal 1v2.
It's huge for Supa to get back into the game himself as well.
Yeah, he's had a quiet map so far.
He was struggling early, but there, winning the bonus, shutting it down to the 3K at the end, is absolutely huge. That kill he got onto Baby Bay was crazy. The paranoia coming in, as the blind connects,
Yep.
he saw just a shoulder. Predicts where the head's gonna be and takes it clean off.
Oopsie, sorry. I didn't realize you were.
And so now 3-round lead for EG. They rattle off dominantly in this opening couple of rounds of the second half.
G2 are focusing more around mid. We thought 3 players stepping into that space. So it's Trent that's left alone back into pocket.
And obviously a different player, a different agent, but we saw how difficult it is to have one player anchor this spot.
He doesn't even have the escape option, but he does have the benefit of that forward scouting utility, so he can call in his teammates a little bit earlier. You already see Valen slipping back into the site.
Rotations are going to be really hard to come by here. I mean, they have to play on the other side of their wall, but Dre's ahead of it.
EG are certainly taking their time.
He's in a really good spot here to play spoiler. The shoulder gives it away. Now he has to give all that space back up, and EG gladly will take it. I don't think it saw him. I don't think it saw Jogamo. I think he's in position to punish, but no. Derek clears him.
With that fight going well into main too, EG can speed up into the site. It's only going to be Valen back into elbow, but EG don't even have to worry about that.
No, I mean, look at where Supa is on the other side of the map. He's just looking to catch a lurk timing, and ultimately he falls, but that just relieves so much pressure elsewhere on the map.
A combined 52 HP between the 2 surviving members of G2.
Jonah P did grab a weapon.
Enemy remaining.
That's 3.
And that weapon is all that will stand. That, okay, well,
Hey!
That felt incredibly unnecessary.
That was really messed up. Okay, you can't reach him.
Yeah, don't tell him. He doesn't know. You're safe there, little guy.
The Red Bull clutch for little guy back in spawn.
That one was free. So Jonah will hang on to this weapon, barring a swing from nature. And yeah, he will keep it.
I think everyone in the building was hoping Jonah P would fall down there for the actions he did on the field of battle.
Yeah, made a lot of enemies along the way, didn't
Yeah,
he?
you really did.
One enemy remaining.
This next round. No, what are we doing?
In the replay.
Oh, the humanity!
He knows what he's doing too.
Look at that little side eye.
17 and 11 for him. I think he's earned the right to slash
play?
a couple of
Let's
snowmen along the
play.
way. Meanwhile, the ult popped Icy, looking to gain some of this early space up mid.
But still 2 players waiting for him towards the B site.
Awkward angle for a fight.
Challenge in A main.
Yay and Baby Bay. This match we've seen play out so many times across history, and it's been a bit of a drought. No, go back.
Here
Thank
it
you.
comes.
Thank you. We might just freeze here
Come
for a minute,
on.
actually. It's Yay on top. And that opens up A. I mean, you've got Valen who's playing all the way back into spawn, but Icy was behind him. A is theirs for the taking.
All off the early mid work. Now another layer of lurk. This is just filthy.
Trent walks away with the win. Another awkward attempt at a retake for G2.
Jogamo completely on his own back into spawn. I don't think you play it,
No, I don't think they can afford to.
but that's giving EG an 11th round. Baby Bay's one off the ultimate, so can maybe hope to get that online, but it's pretty hard to play for those orbs defensively.
I feel like I'm gonna get flashbacks every time I see a little snowman now.
That's the takeaway from this match.
Yep.
Is now we have to be on watch for, I think, our little rock friends.
EG get up to 11. The finances are in a great spot. They're gonna carry over the op for EA as well. 21 and 12 for him on the chamber. And much like we saw in the first half.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, that is filthy.
The split screen there. Oh, I love that we can just throw that up like that.
And he knows he was bested. And so much like we saw in the first half, EG put together a very impressive streak. Now, the one difference is there was a timeout that was called, they had hit 5 in a row, and then G2 come roaring back to make it a competitive fight.
Yeah.
We're at the same point again in the second half here. And the one difference is it's way later in the game. You've got shorter runway.
Exactly. So much later in the game. And also, I don't know if G2 have that same hook of an idea that they can abuse in how EG are playing it. Because the first half, it was just, okay, we see that we can win these fights over onto A.
Right.
That site's going to fall apart. Here, it's not so clear because EG have played multiple different speeds into the rounds. They've just done those fast execs into B that have looked very effective.
Right.
They've gone for these crazy lurk plays that last round, allowing Icy to get inserted all the way up in top mid. And that's where it becomes tough for G2 because you don't have that focus heading into this next round.
Right.
That's what coach is going to have to bring to them here.
Again, 5 rounds in a row. EG looking to put G2 away. On G2's map pick. No early acceleration. Actually, hold that thought. G2 playing very aggressively out Bay main.
All about the A site. They're full seeding mid, which is a bit shocking.
That's a paranoia out with... Didn't seem like there were a ton of Qs.
Yeah, they got the wrong read there. Thought EG were slipping into the space.
Yeah.
This time, though, G2 do have the trip that BabyBay places in top mid. So not the same options to go for that lurk, but now after taking both main controls, they're putting so much on the back of Jonah and Valen.
Attempting to hold the extremities and contain.
Yeah, last round BabyBay couldn't do it, so G2 decide to let their smokes players be the ones to take the challenge.
And it is an op on the other side. A 21 kill, yay, make that 22.
And now the ultimate to accelerate, to actually rotate over into B. EG are up into mid.
There are a couple of members from the defensive G2 that are trying to hold on to B. You see they've been torn asunder.
Supa on those lurks, I mean, everything is going EG's way.
30 seconds left.
It seems like they can do no wrong. I mean, even Dre getting tagged through the utility there, down to 79 HP. He's got to find a free one. And I don't know that he's going to be given it.
You can't just keep saving. G2 have to play around.
Last player standing.
Even the free one doesn't go his way.
And all that goes down just for Trent to find a trip right in his face. I do want to shout out, while these hits work and EG are coming up with a lot of different ways to approach into the site, what Supa has done on these late mid options for the team has been really effective. And I think there's even worlds where if EG are shut down in that initial hit, because Supa is finding the pick on the rotator coming in through A link, if EG were, you know, somehow stopped up in top mid, they could always cut back into him and finish into A.
Match point.
And that's been a staple of Evil Geniuses on their best maps. You think back to their Lotus when they played so lurk heavy around the lurks of particularly Supermen. He has always been so at home on this Viper on the attack side of things.
Frustration on the side of G2 there, and for good reason. The timeline tells the tale. 6 in a row for EG.
G2 just can't win a fight in mains against Ye. He's completely diffing them.
A flawless half so far. And the opportunity to put the finishing touches on this perfect look. No early spam kills to start this round off.
I'm looking over to B main again, though.
Yep.
We're back to BabyBay versus Ye.
See Jogamo finds safe passage, tucks into the corner, and then punishes onto Nature. Now he's the one who's under threat. He's the one who's under fire. Jonah P has his back.
Look at B main, Doug. Oh! It's Ye again! Except this time, EG faltered in mid. That spike is now firmly in the control of G2. It's all on Supa. One for him. Can't get another.
Ye can't 1v3 this with an op. I mean, he's got money. They've got a ton of money. But I think the threat is in giving an op over to G2.
Yeah, don't let BabyBay have that.
30 seconds left.
Is he going to give this a go? He's considering it. Letting the intrusive thoughts win. Now they know. And he falls. Jonah gets his 3. The op is picked up. And G2 stay alive.
So G2 get a little secret sauce there, and it is just the mid fight. I think Jogamo rather saw the Odin spam from Nature and anticipated the position behind the box, got the early spam kill, which then helped them so much when it came to that second wave of fight. EG bringing that to them. But G2 still have not solved the problem of mains. Now they could ignore the mains, they could keep heavily fighting into mid. Maybe just give a little bit more support into the fights.
The thing about when G2 had this advantage when they were on attack is they had some of Fade's utility to clear, or at least to attempt to clear the pit. EG do not have that luxury.
Well, they've got a drone if Nature wanted to come over. That's just one big ability. Losing that early in a round means you can't re-clear the op later, or re-clear into this mid space, which is always a problem on Corrode.
Right. He's looking for a pixel. And he might just get it. Meanwhile, spam ensues across the middle of the map.
New challenger in B main, by the way. It's Jogamo.
He's going to get tested.
Except this time Trent is coming over to assist. This could be the difference for G2. Put 2 players here, but EG are also bringing 4.
Remember, Trent has the Odin. Jogamo pushes forward, and Supa goes unchecked. Ye gets him too.
Valen has to be a hero.
Seconds left.
I don't think they know where he is. They have no idea. Valen plays spoiler. 2 before falling. And time was bought.
But no one else is even close, Doug. That spike goes down. Once again, Baby Bay and Jonah P completely isolated.
With an op to clear a pit. Such a tough spot.
Teleport's ready.
But it's a puzzle they will have to solve if they want to continue this map. If they want to stay in this fight. But they're so far out of the play. And with every second that passes, this gets into a bit of a mess. It's Ye and Jonah P in a 1v1.
Time.
Jonah has to go fast. He's got to go now. And does not have the luxury. Hits a shot. And he's going to get the defuse.
That was crazy. The spam through the ult, and all of a sudden, all those EG players turn around to look at Jonah. That's when Baby Bay slips into the pit. Finds his mark. Jonah P as well, I think, having the presence of mind to break Ye's anchor back in main after he won that opening fight.
Spike down B.
Don't forget Valen doing his work with a couple of kills there.
Him getting 2 there is criminal.
G2 needed multiple players to step up in a massive way. And even then, it was only barely that they got the round.
Those 2 answered the call, and G2 stay alive.
5-8 for EG.
Trent has an ult here. You imagine he's just going to play a little bit further back, though. And with that, the Hunter's Fury is in play.
Now EG are about to walk into 3 players of G2. Because Baby Bay is posted in mid, he has the rotation line.
Yeah, they have the tools, though, if they want to pop onto A. Between Nature's ult and Icy's ult, this is hard to hold.
This freeze has cooked G2. G2 were overthinking it. They think a mid fight is coming. And yet G2 have just completely frozen, waiting to pop out into A with Paranoia, with Hunter's Fury. It is time to go.
I think the Paranoia split the upright. I don't think it tagged anyone, and Jogamo spams onto Icy. G2 still in a power position, and now the Hunter's Fury from Nature.
EG are still stuck back in main. They can't find a thing. They can't hear a thing.
Everything invested and no value found. And so what? It's a fake toward A. Make as much noise as you can.
Derek and Ye are going to give everything, but actually they're calling the spike back into them. EG are going into this A site with 20 seconds.
And everybody is here. Baby Bay lights it up first. Jonah P joins them. EG crumble again. Unless Derek can pull this off. That's 3. 10 seconds left. You've got to get the spike up. In a 1v2.
10 seconds left.
It's been pretty, but I don't think there's enough behind this miracle. Derek has to commit to the plant. As the smoke dissipates, Valen's there to greet him. He gave it a hell of a run, but it was just not enough.
G2 are starting to piece a little something together here. 3 rounds in a row. That tag from the Haunt catching 3 players. With a Nightfall behind it, the support that Trent just gave his team is what locked EG out of the site. So now EG look back into mid. This has worked for them earlier on. Early dart, smoke into top, the spam to follow.
Meanwhile, G2 have inserted Dre on an aggro line B main.
EG have exploited G2 when they play a weak mid setup. We saw the lurks going through mid late in the rounds from Supa, early in them from Icy, all the way back into their spawn. Don't think G2 can afford to leave those gaps open, so this time they call over Jonah P on the Viper to assist the Neon at top mid. But that forces Baby Bay back onto a solo line. That removes numbers from the sites themselves.
Not ready yet.
Stealing sight.
Paranoia invested. They're trying to control the middle of the map, and they'll get it with very little resistance.
EG are taking their sweet time, down to 45 seconds.
It seems like they're intent on leaning A. And have Ye, who will be late outside of main. The dog tags him. So now, I mean, they have a couple of options.
They do, but only 30 seconds. Supa's not lurking into Beast. They can't cut back into that. A is the answer. They can only go forward.
Valen has delay.
20 seconds.
Flash in hand. They're trying to play this quietly, but now it's been given away. They know what's waiting on the other side. Valen tucking in his own smoke. 13 seconds left. Has to face it. And again, EG falls. Not enough time to solve this problem. G2 get to 10. 5 rounds in a row in the first half. And G2 roar back to get to a 6-6 half. 5 rounds in a row in the second half.
If they can see this next one through.
Oh, it's 6. I lied to you guys, sorry. That's not the point. You get what I'm trying to say.
We all get what you're trying to say. Look, G2 are frankly, it seems like boring EG to death. EG waiting a minute plus into the rounds. G2 just aren't giving them a fight. Now that Ye hasn't been able to find those challenges in mains. When he's gone A, it's been Baby Bay over on B. Those early fights aren't coming. And EG are struggling to find an answer out of the mid round. And in that last round especially, I think even they have a shot if they can get into the site. But Trent back in elbow saw Ye jump peeking around the corner. And that's what informed, oh, this is a split hit coming in immediately. That's when Valen rips the Paranoia. There's very quick communication going down in the G2 camp to identify what EG's plan is. And just in the blink of an eye like that, one ability is what shuts down any of EG's momentum.
I think a testament to how well drilled and built this project is on the G2 side to have those protocols and know exactly how to react to the slightest of tells. Very nicely done. And that's now 4 rounds in a row as they continue this comeback.
You see it all the time with Valen. Playing so well off the information his teammates are giving him.
Yep.
Calling it through, showing up individually in the server too. And while so much of this game has just been the Ye show, Derek 2 having a crazy map over for EG. The smokes for G2 have really been what is carrying them, even within 2.
You want to play? Let's play.
Ult pop to kick things off. A no early challenge. Ye's creeping forward. This would be a ridiculous shot, and I think that was just enough noise to dissuade him from jump spotting again.
Yeah, that teleport threatening the cross here, so a single operator can't just hold into main. Forces the smoke out of G2.
And the dog.
A lot of utility to be burnt.
And you really didn't gain anything on the other side of it.
Well, this is weird, though, because for one of the first times ever, you have Baby Bay playing on a passive line on Beast. That drone in from nature doesn't see a thing. And that means that very likely EG are thinking there's a chamber over on this B site. And they might even be trying to target Baby Bay then.
Seems like they're trying to accelerate that way.
Smoke into yard to try and pinch off this pocket player. Trent feels that pressure, he's falling back.
Fallon has a flash though. It's gonna have to be exchanged. In fact, choosing to hold on to his Trent vacates the space.
30 seconds.
30
Again,
seconds
they're
left.
burning the midnight oil here.
Except this time Derek has an ultimate to go back into Soup, but they might call for that. But G2 haven't flinched, they've still got 2 players on B.
They're so far away, there's no time to flip the map here. They're committing.
He's ulting into the site.
Gives the space back up, 15 seconds left. They've got to find a way through. Derek and Nature, it's all onto Derek. Now Valen gets all of them. 3 fall as G2 get to 11.
EG just forgot there's a clock. 3 rounds in a row, it's coming down to the wire. And G2 are not falling prey to any of these mind games. The cut noise, the fake utility. Drones over into B main, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean a thing to them. They're perfectly comfortable in their setups.
Let's go.
And when they can anchor down like that, when Valen can deliver rounds repeatedly. Remember the last 2 rounds of the first half, back-to-back 3Ks for him. Now another one. G2 are within 1 of forcing OT.
Corrode has delivered so far. All that's left to figure out is, does it end here? Do we go the distance? Do we go to OT?
Deploying drone.
The story of the game has been Ye finding the opening picks. This time Baby Bay is spotted on the passive line. Forced back.
Misses. EG have to go aggressive here. They don't really have the guns to play this slowly, and that's exactly what they do. Looking to accelerate a blistering pace towards B. And they've managed to push a lot of the defense off of the line. Note, Jogma has his ult a little bit away from the play for now, but can pop on at a moment's notice. Second set of utility 2, the Paranoia and the Dog. Baby Bay falls. Ye getting the pick. It's a 5v3 as Ye gets another.
Player standing.
Better late than never, I guess. EG, hang on to this. Trent has to pull it off on his own. A 1v2 switches to the Phantom. Time is short. Snaps on the run. Can Trent do it again? A 1v1 with Icy there. And it's Icy who delivers. EG hang on and take map 1.